I told her I loved her.
Who?
Belly.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know who this be, it's your girl KylerB coming at you with a new video. So today we're going to be talking about The Summer I Turned Pretty Season 3 Episode 9. So let's get right into this video. So in this week's episode, Belly, she got on a flight to Paris. So while she was at the airport, she saw Conrad. So she was like debating like whether or not she should walk up to him or not. But I guess because she was already in the line to board the plane, she just went ahead and went on the plane to Paris instead of talking to him.
Passport and ticket, please.
So she didn't talk to Conrad. She gets on the flight, goes to Paris, because she's like, I'm going to go back. You know, she got the call that she's going to be enrolled into, school abroad in Paris. There was her spot that she gave up again, or she gave up, got open, whatever. She comes to Paris, no visa, no nothing. Like, she's just basically on a whim to Paris, basically based on somebody told her that her spot's back open. So, walks up to the school, everything. They're like, no, you don't got your spot. Your spot gone. Like, the person who gave her that information didn't update the, spreadsheet and whatnot. So she literally has no place to go. She's just with her, suitcase and her book bag and, has no place to go because her spot for school abroad is taken. So, she's like basically down and out because, her wedding's called off, she doesn't have her family anymore. Jeremiah no longer, all her friends back in the States. So she's just like down and out. Now the little one thing that she wanted to do, go to school abroad in Paris, it's not there. So she calls Laura up, tells Laura that she's in Paris, where she's at, but it's just like, she basically feels like a failure. So Laura was just like, you know what, it's better to just come home because like you literally don't have nowhere to go. So just catch another flight home, whatever. She's sitting down in the coffee shop while this is happening. Jeremiah, he's drinking all that. Everybody's feeling sorry for him. Like, oh, he's, basically the victim here that, even though he called off the wedding, like, oh, it's upsetting to him. He's crying. You got Taylor and Steven comforted him. His frat bros comforting him, everything. He's drinking, whatever. So while Conrad was in the airport, his father, Adam, called and was like, Jeremiah, he's going through it. So, why don't you, basically look after him? He needs you or whatever. So Conrad, being a good brother, because he already got his flight, booked. He ready to go. And, like, literally, Jeremiah told him he doesn't want to see him ever again. So I'm just like, his father called, and he's still being, like, a good brother. Like, okay, let me go, comfort him. Now, granted, he did get the news that the wedding did not happen. So, therefore, Belly's literally single. So, he does show up back to Cousins, basically trying to help out. But it's just, like, the worst timing ever because it's, like, he it's literally the worst time. Like, despite what Adam says, Adam's still out of the loop. Like, you showing up is like, no. So Taylor and Steven stop him. Steven over here on his high horse, like, oh, you ruin everything, you're the problem, da da da. Taylor's just like, yeah, this is not the right time, blah blah blah. She's also kind of agreeing as well that, oh, that's the reason. But then she also said, like, you know what, you're not 100% the reason why the wedding didn't go on because they also have their problems as well in the relationship. You're probably like 50% the reason because I guess because of, to be real and honest, Conrad confessing was just basically, the only thing that happened is that her mind just scrambled because she was already having doubts about the wedding before Conrad even confessed how he felt. Like, if we're being real right now, before he even said anything on the beach, she was already, second guessing the wedding. Like, she was a second guessing. So I'm just like, you can't really blame this all on Conrad. And to be honest, if he knew before the love confession that there was still something going on between them or whatever, he knew that from Christmas that, Belly still loved Conrad, You didn't communicate to her at all. Like, what's going on here? But anyways, so, Laurel, they have to clean up the wedding venue and everything because everything's going to go in the trash. So Laurel's, like, basically, like, trying to, like, criticize Adam. And granted, it was kind of whack because Laurel didn't have a leg to stand on in this situation because, yeah, Adam was whack for bringing Kaylee, like, oh, the person that he cheated on Susanna with to his son's wedding. But, him clapping back and saying, like, this is the lady that helped, basically plan this whole wedding because you didn't want to be involved. Like, I mean, he got you there because he wasn't involved for the past 2 months of the wedding planning or whatever. Kaylee and him had to pay for it and plan and whatever for the wedding of your daughter and his son. So, I mean, granted, he did have you there. Like, you wasn't involved. You didn't help out. Even though you didn't agree, you still should have, like, kind of, like, just showed up there for Belly in the first place. But, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, he is still wrong for having Kaylee there and whatnot. And, like, the thing is that he should really be there for Jeremiah. The fact that he's enlisting Conrad to be there is just like, you're his father. Why don't you comfort him and be the dad that you're supposed to be to him? Like, the only parent that he has at this point in time. Like, you're telling, Conrad to do it. Anyways, Jeremiah, he's drinking. They have to baby him, essentially. He's talking about, like, he doesn't have to need a babysitter. But, like, literally, you're acting like a child. Like, literally a man-child. So, while he's sobering up, whatever, Connor still wants to help. He knows that red Gatorade is his favorite. He knows that red Gatorade is the best to help him out when he's sobering up and everything. So it's just like Steven goes over there and he's like, why did you tell Belly all these things? Like, he's still on, like, Connor's the bad guy, like, dissing him off, which is like, all right now, like, you had your chance at the wedding, but it's like, it's going overboard. Like, it's overboard. Like, hello? Like, you don't even know what really set it off. Like, him confessing his love feelings did not change anything, because if Belly did feel the same way, then it's on Belly too. Like, hello? But anyhow, I mean, granted, the timing of the whole confession was, rocky. But this is going on. Belly decides to call, Jeremiah. Calls Jeremiah up, just like tell him that she's in Paris. He's just like, I still want you. Let's try to work it out, da-da-da-da. And, da-da-da-da, like, come back, da-da-da-da. Like, even if we didn't get married, let's just still work out. And she's just like, yeah, no. She doesn't even know who she is. She needs to find herself first. And he doesn't care. And then he hangs up the phone, or he tells her before he hangs up the phone, like, to never call her again. Never call him again. This is what Laurel has been saying. She's like, there was no point of them getting married while they're still trying to get ready go through school, finish up their school education and everything, for them to get married and still have to hop back to school the next, semester. I was basically telling Belly, like, find yourself first as a person before you basically, lose yourself in a relationship. And she basically did. She lost herself in a relationship with Jeremiah. She doesn't know who she is. That's why he's so codependent. He can't sleep without her because it was so much a codependency. And the thing about his relationship with Belly was just all about him. How Belly made him feel, how Belly did this for him, da-da-da-da-da. Him. If Belly's not supportive of him. But he can't be supportive of Belly, of her wanting to do what she wants to do. And it's just like, hangs up the phone or never to call him again, which is like crazy. Anyways, while this is happening, Steven and Taylor were basically on babysitting duty for Jeremiah. So with that being said, they rekindled. She basically said, like, what changed your mind of you still, wanting to be with me? But he, like, basically said that he really likes her and her personality. They actually told each other that they love each other. She said that, what happened at the hospital and now, like, what he said at the hospital hurt her, da-da-da-da. And anyways, Steven and Taylor are back together. Like, okay, good for them. That's what happened. Anyways, back at Paris, Belly ends up losing her book bag. Someone stole it. So she had her air tag, basically able to track her bag. So someone stole her bag. She had to run around Paris looking for her bag the entire time. She actually meets up some friends, and that's basically going to be the friends that we see in the trailer. because she, like, by chance, she was able to get into the club where the person had her book bag, found the guy. It was just a, like, very ridiculous interaction, because just, like, this guy pretending like he doesn't have her bag, and then, you know, he's dancing to the music, so he's still dancing while having this interaction, and then, like, she kicks him, gets her book bag, shows off that she has the wedding dress that she has in the book bag, and gets her book bag back. And then she meets her, you know, Paris friends, everything. That's basically her start of Paris. And I feel like they're probably going to let her stay in Paris, because they're like, you know, she's like, I got a flight back home. But they're like, what's the point? Like, you can probably stay in Paris if that's what you want to do. Just find a way to stay. Like, Belly can do her classes online while she's in Paris abroad. So she can basically do, like, two birds with one stone, essentially. Like what Jeremiah's doing. Like, he's over here in Boston taking his classes online while he's still working for his father. So, anyways, the last situation is, you know, Jeremiah shows up to the cousin's beach house. Basically was like trying to rub it in his face that Belly called him. And he was like, oh, well, she didn't pick me, but she didn't pick you either. Da 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 da. And it's just,
Oh, so she didn't call you? Only me. Huh, well, I guess that's something. What do you mean? What do you mean she's in Paris? God, I love that I'm the one that gets to tell you this.
just like basically shows you like it was all a competition for him, or like some type of like one-sided game for him. And then he found out the wedding present that was supposed to be for him and Belly, which was drawn by Susanna, which was them at the sand crabs. And like, you know, even though Conrad basically said he really didn't want, you know, Belly and Jeremiah to get married. Like, he said that he wanted her to change her mind, but, you know, he still showed up and as a brother to, you know, be there, whatever, even though it hurts him, even though that's not what he really wants to do. So it's just like, you can knock him down for like, oh, what he says or whatever, but I'm like, he still shows up and tries to be there, because he could really be selfish. If he was selfish with his feelings from the motel, there would have been no Belly and Jeremiah. So I'm just like, if he was selfish from the start, if he was selfish with his feelings of how he felt for real, there wouldn't have been no Jeremiah and Belly. That's why I'm just like, him arguing with him at the wedding or whatever, saying like, oh, I gave you a chance. You didn't get no chance. Conrad was the one who gave you a chance, because if Conrad was actually selfish and was like, you know, he really meant what he said in the motel, Belly wouldn't be picking no Jeremiah. She probably would have went back to, you know, Conrad, and that would have been wraps on Jeremiah's end. And the thing is that Jeremiah couldn't have been happy for Conrad and Belly when they were together. But, you know, while Conrad is still showing up and showing out for Jeremiah and Belly, you know, it like, it's like so one-sided here. Anyways, also in this episode, we have a conversation with Adam and Conrad, and, you know, it kind of puts into perspective, because like in season 1, when Susanna was sick, I mean, Conrad obviously knows about the, you know, infidelity, you know, cheating on his part, so that's why he didn't want him around. So he's like, oh, you know, Adam made things worse at the time. So now Jeremiah is saying that, oh, you should go back to California. I don't want you here. Get out of here. And it's just like, you know, in a sense, in this scenario, to Jeremiah, Conrad is like Adam to Conrad, like, basically. So Jeremiah basically sees how Conrad sees Adam to him. Says like, you know what? I left you guys alone. And basically, you had people to lean on during that time, so therefore, you should kind of like give Jeremiah space, and he'll find people to lean on during this time. So that's what he's saying to Adam. He's saying to Conrad, which I see the perspective, because that's literally what happened. You know, he felt Adam was the one who basically, I mean, granted, he should get the blame for cheating on his mother. So I'm like, you shouldn't be walking away scot-free, especially when she was dying of cancer. So I'm just like, but the fact that he was so out of the loop, like he didn't even know like why Conrad would say he loved Belly to Belly, like, because he's so out of the loop. Like the fact that he treated Belly like, you know, some random girl that, like, not like a family friend, like how Susanna treated Belly, like, it's crazy, because it's just like very much hot and cold, like definitely very different situations, because it's like he didn't know the family dynamics, the family lore at all. like, you know, how you viewed me during season 1 is basically how Jeremiah views you right now as a villain in his story. So therefore, give him the space, give him the time he needs, and, you know, therefore Conrad finally sees that, and he's gonna finally go back to California. This episode was definitely lackluster, but I mean, we have 2 episodes left, so I really don't know what's gonna happen because Belly just got to Paris. So I mean, I guess the next episode might have to time jump a little bit of her time in Paris hanging out with her friends, and then you finally get the letter from Conrad, and it's obviously that Jeremiah is also going to show up in Paris at one point in time. So we'll see how that goes, because if Jeremiah going to show up, Conrad going to show up too. He's going to write letters, da da da. So I'm like, how are we going to end this in the next 2 episodes? But we shall see. That Steven didn't even like, basically wasn't that angry about it. He was just like, you guys are talking about us, but you guys have problems too, da da da. Like, I'm just like, you told Conrad off for all these different things while you were babying a guy who cheated on your sister. Like, let's be so for real. But anyways, let's move on and just move on, because like, what are we even talking about here? But that was episode 9, very lackluster. Can't wait to see what happens in the next 2 episodes. But anyway, guys, if you guys like the video, comment down below, let me know your thoughts, comments, concerns, and subscribe to my channel, subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. Peace.